Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's the singers, the singers only. Singers, the singers only.
Hey you guys, it's Kristal Cherelle from INDIEARTISTSCHOOL. Welcome to the Singer's Arsenal. Today I'm talking about handling criticism. The fear of criticism is actually one of the most common fears. It's especially prevalent with singers and artists. So I feel like it's something that happens so often, and it's a recurring theme with students who come to me. That first lesson, that first meeting, usually the first thing they tell me is they're nervous to sing in front of me because they're afraid they're going to make a mistake. Also, I'll have people who are interested in learning how to sing, but they're afraid to even start for multiple reasons. Sometimes it's because they've already been criticized by other people, and so their self-esteem is, really suffering at that point. Or because they don't know if they can trust me or not. Over time, it's actually improved a lot. I don't get that as much anymore. I think you guys are starting to get to know me a little bit, so you know my motto. I believe in positive reinforcement, and I do believe in calling things out and fixing them, but I don't believe in bashing people and just straight up being like, you know what, I don't like that, and just making people feel low. Like, I don't think that's the way to go. But let's be honest, I'm a vocal coach, so I know how to give you instruction. But there's no way you're going to be a performer and not experience criticism from people who are not actually trained to give criticism. So they're not going to know the best way to do it. And sometimes it can definitely hurt your feelings. So I've created this 7-step list to help you filter through the criticism you get to know if it's valid or not, as well as how to move forward. Okay. All right. So the first thing that you need to do is try your best not to get defensive. I know it's an impulse. It's something that you're going to want to do naturally, especially if it's one of your fears. And as you know, with fears, it usually gets either a fight or flight response. So either you get completely afraid and avoid the situation entirely, meaning say you get a mean, I'm not even going to say mean, but you get some criticism on your performance on Instagram or Facebook or something like that. And you might have one or two urges, which represents fight or flight. One, you block the person, okay? And you're just like, it's just an instinct. You didn't even really read it. You just got triggered, you blocked it, and you don't respond. That would be equivalent to the flight response. Or you snap back and you come at them and you type this like long comment and maybe even DM them, or you keep refreshing to see if they responded. That would be the fight response. Knowing yourself will really help you hold yourself back a little bit from just responding in one of those ways if you know which one you kind of lean towards. I myself, I don't know, it's just in different times of my life, I think I've responded in both ways, honestly. So trust me, I understand it could be very difficult to handle criticism, but whatever you do, I don't want you to just react. And here's why. You never know. If you don't know how to filter through to see what's valid criticism or not, and you respond that way, you might miss out on some really good advice. You know what I mean? You might miss out on a mentor, or you might miss out on someone who might genuinely be interested in your music, but just wanted you to maybe do something a little bit different to help you. But if you're just reacting and you bite their head off, or you block them and you cut them off from seeing any more of your content, you might just miss a fan. So you want to be careful with how you react to people and follow these next steps to determine whether or not they're just a hater or if there's someone who's really giving you valid criticism, okay? The second thing that you need to do is consider the source. I know in the example I just gave on social media, it's hard to know the source, which is really why we have the fight or flight response the most, is because we don't know anyone's intent online. But if it's someone that you know, you need to take that into consideration. There are some questions you need to ask yourself. One, do they have any level of expertise in the field they are criticizing you on? So take a look at what they're doing. are they doing something that you can learn from? And if so, maybe take what they're saying as something that could actually help you. Maybe they do mean you well. 2, what is your relationship in the past? Have they ever given you good advice before? That's a big one right there. If they've given you good advice, chances are there's no malice this time, okay? And 3rd, are they someone who always just criticizes? And I think this is important too, because if they never compliment your strengths and they're just looking for your weaknesses, even if their criticisms are valid, you have to be careful with this person, because it's possible that they're envious of you, and you don't really want that energy around you, because it's going to make you feel attacked every time you get a message from them. And you know these people. It's like as soon as you see a notification, you're like, oh. You hold your breath because you know it's about to be, something negative. So if it's somebody who's always looking for criticism and they're the only one who is complaining of that thing, then maybe their criticism is not really something you need to consider. But if they are someone you know and they've given advice before that you can take, then hey, maybe this is good advice, okay? All right, and the 3rd thing you need to consider is, what is their perspective? Okay, their perspective, meaning their background, maybe it's just an opinion and not an actual criticism on your performance. So you have to know the difference. So let's just say there's someone who only likes country music and they get on your R&B post and they're just like, I don't like the way you sound. And there's nothing of substance you can actually take from that. It's just like, I just don't like it. It's just an opinion. There's no actual criticism. And the way you can tell the difference between criticism and opinion is by if there's something that you can do about it. You know what I'm saying? If they're just saying, I don't like your face, like they're just a hater, like there's nothing you can do about that. Well, you could get surgery, but don't do that. Don't let it become something that makes you insecure, okay? People are gonna have their opinions, okay? Your goal as a singer is not to be liked by everyone. Your goal as a singer is to be the best singer you can be and to communicate your emotions in a way that you can reach the people who actually like what you do, okay? So you have to consider their perspective. Also, there's sometimes some generational differences. Maybe there's some style differences between the person who's criticizing you. So maybe they're giving you advice that's no longer relevant now, or maybe they're giving you advice that is relevant now, but you are stuck in the past. So it might be something you need to consider if that is your angle. So you need to see their perspective and why they're directing you in that direction, and see what you think and desire for your future. If it aligns, then it's good advice. All right, so before I get into this next step, I want to invite you to support this podcast by going to anchor.fm/thesingersarsenal/support. I really enjoy creating these episodes for you guys, and I really couldn't do it without your monthly donations. So those of you who have already donated, oh my goodness, thank you so much. It really means a lot to me to know that you're out there really listening, taking this advice, and find it valuable. So thank you so much. And if you want to donate, go to anchor.fm/thesingersarsenal/support. All right, so the 4th thing, it's important to get another opinion. So say that you got some advice from someone who had maybe a different perspective from you, or maybe even the same. You want to know if other people feel the same way. And the people you need to ask are people that you trust, so that you can know whether or not it's something that's valid. If there's someone in your field who knows what they're doing, a mentor, maybe even a vocal coach. If, say, your friends are saying something about your performance and you have a vocal coach, you can consult with your vocal coach about what your friends are saying to see if there is any validity to what your friends are saying, and see how you can improve. So that would be another example of you getting other advice from other people. Usually if multiple people are saying the same thing, they're not a hater, they're just trying to help, and it's something that you really do need to work on, okay? And that doesn't mean you're bad, and it doesn't mean that you're not meant to be a singer. It just means there is some room for growth, and we always love room for growth, because the worst thing that you could do when you're trying to be successful is to be stagnant. So nobody got time for that. All right, and the fifth thing you need to do is learn how to work on it. What I mean is, if you've already got the understanding that the advice is actually valid, then it's time for you to put it to use. You're gonna have to change some things to see growth. Try something new and see if you could put the advice to use. And then the sixth thing, which is pretty cool, I like it anyway, is circle back with those who gave you that advice and show them the work that you've done. Let them know that you heard them and that you appreciate them and you value their opinions. I'm not gonna say opinions because that's different. You value their advice and you've actually put it to use. And once you've done that, be receptive to their feedback, okay? And this leads into the seventh step. Seek out the advice, right? So when you circle back, I want you to take the initiative and ask them what they think. And I want you to be specific. I want you to address their concerns and say, hey guys, maybe they said you were pitchy when you were singing the song. Let's just use that as an example. When you circle back and you've done the work on your voice, you can ask them, am I still pitchy? You can ask for that feedback. And what that does is it puts the ball in your court. And it also trains you to start looking at criticism as something that's actually very valuable instead of an attack on you, okay? Because really, good advice and constructive criticism is like a gold mine for anyone who is trying to grow. So when you frame it that way, it makes you more receptive, it makes you more open, and it also makes you a better vocalist because you're gonna be ready to do things to fix your voice, to improve your voice, okay? So if you want to learn how to develop your voice, go ahead and visit my website, indie-artist.teachable.com. I give virtual, private, one-on-one voice lessons on Zoom. And I also have an online course called the Indie Artist Toolkit. It's really a miniature crash course on how to release your own music and make money through music. That's indie-artist.teachable.com. Also, subscribe to my YouTube channel, follow me on social media. That's LINKTR.EE/IndieArtistSchool. I've got everything on there, so go check it out. Well, you guys, until next time, have a wonderful day.